One of the biggest topics in the fitness industry in the last 2 years, apart from Ozempic, apart from growth hormone, is TRT. What is that? Test replacement therapy. Something that males use. Let me dig into it and tell you a bit more. And let me give you some truths on TRT from someone that works with the Gen Pop and just giving you my opinion. So let's clarify that. My opinion on a few things. TRT, you know, everyone says to me, hey bro, should I jump on TRT? It's everyone's safe space to moving into the anabolic world if they're a natural athlete. Hey bro, I just want to jump on TRT. Let's sort of break down what TRT is. Test replacement therapy. So one, that's in the name. So it's used to replace testosterone. It's a therapy if you're a male that has low natural testosterone. So let's dig into that. Normally, as you get older as a male, your test levels start to slightly dip. Test levels can dip quicker. If you're out of shape, you're obese. I'm not saying you have to be in shape. If you're heavily overweight, etc., if you're drinking, things can start to naturally diminish your testosterone ranges. The normal ranges off the top of my head are between 8 and 29 nanomoles. That's a nice range. The mid-range for most males, I would say, due to data I have seen with my clients, would sort of be indicated around 15 to 21 nanomoles, or some people are just inside. So typically, you know, test replacement therapy, testosterone levels start to dip as you get older, and it's something that for years it's been prescribed to older males to prevent a low lack of testosterone. What does low testosterone lead to? Libido, low sex drive, low mood, not feeling great, no appetite, no desire, no motivation, slump getting out of bed. But as you can see, so those are the reasons why people would have been prescribed TRT, you know, test replacement therapy, to eliminate all of them feelings and allow men to feel as optimal as they did in their mid-20s. The goal of that, of a TRT, let's get this correct. The goal of TRT is to push your testosterone in the optimal region of the normal testosterone range. So do your blood work, see where you're at. I'm happy. Put my link below if you want me to analyze blood work. We can run a consultation call and go through there. But the goal is to put you in the upper normal end of the natural range. When you use anabolic steroids and do big cycles or normal cycles out of the norm, which are not classed as TRT, the goal of anabolic steroids and running 300 grams of test, 300 milligrams of test, 450 milligrams of test, the goal when you're doing that is to push you into the super physiological range. That's not the goal of TRT. The goal of TRT is to keep you at an optimal normal range. Naturally, when you use exogenous tests, it shuts down your natural test production. So when bodybuilders have been using loads of anabolics, such as tests, say if they're running 600 mg or even higher, 750, you know, because their test has been pushed into super physiological range for them, a lot of them will then revert back onto a TRT phase when they're in their downtime, just to keep the test in the upper region, the optimal upper region of the normal range, so they can retain tissue, feel good, still perform and recover. And that would be what they'd call their cruise period, yeah? So that's the reason why some people might use TRT if they're advanced bodybuilders and they're, you know, want to stay in the competitive season and want to hold tissue. So, but for the general pop we're talking about here is it's used if your natural test levels start to slow up. But, you know, for competitors, they would use it to mask coming off essentially because they don't want to come off because test is going to drop. And they're most likely going to have to do a PCT therapy, post-cycle therapy, which is not the nicest, let's say. And this is coming from someone who once used peak anabolics, once used TRT, and now I'm fully natural with no TRT and natural test levels restored. So I'm giving you the experience from all angles, and I'm 30, so I'm giving you that experience. And the reason I was using TRT, because for me, it was my way of masking of restoring natural levels. And at 30, my levels are great. But as I get older, if they dip, would I use TRT? Yes. You know, we normally hear what's the normal dose and what's the bro dose? Because working with a lot of clients and having a lot of friends in the industry, they were like, bro, I'm running TRT 300 milligrams per week. Like, no, that isn't a TRT, that's a cycle. From what I can see, TRT is it's also different and dependent on everyone else. So it's always good to get consulted and run your bloods. I've seen it as little as 50 mg a week up to 175 mg a week to keep someone in that normal range. That's more likely a TRT. 250s, 300s, that's going to take you into the super physiological range. So that's not what we're looking for there. So that's the bro dose, is 250, 300 mg. The dose which I've seen prescripted from a lot of pharmacies has been between 50 175 and a very extreme push. Don't just listen to your bro down the gym. Yeah, bro, your test is low. Let's take some TRT, 250 mg. It's not how it works, mate, because when you do want to stop that TRT and you don't have the right protocols in place, you're probably going to lack with impotence. If you don't know what impotence is, Google it. You'll soon find out. So that's what we talk about there. And the goal is obviously to keep tests in the upper normal range. Fertility, how does it affect it? TRT can shut down LH and FSH. In layman's terms, that is your stimulating hormones. That is your producing hormones. So that can be shut down running TRT. That's why some people will run HMG, which is a direct LH and FSH to keep them levels optimal. Or some people will run HMG alongside that, but we're not going to dig into that today. That's what you need to book a consult for. But no, the typical age range for TRT is, I'm going to say, 33 to 40 plus. Lads starting it younger, ex-competitors, ex-athletes potentially where test levels have crashed if they've used anabolics in the past, probably starting it sooner. Where to source? I'm not going to tell you because steroids are illegal. But no, if you go to your prescribed doctor, a prescribed private clinic, not the NHS, you can get testosterone prescribed. My advice is anyone's unsure and they're watching this is blood work, get your blood work done, see where you are naturally, see if you need a TRT doctor. Or booking a consult, I can let you know where your blood work is. So blood work's pivotal on any decision. Even if you're using anabolics for the first time, base it off blood work. If you're using TRT, base it off blood work. Don't just base it on, oh, I don't feel great, my appetite's low, my mood shit, I'm not utilizing food well. Base it off blood work, base it off everything. Benefits of using TRT if you've got low tests: motivation, alpha, recovery, fullness in the gym. Wow, it sounds amazing, doesn't it? Fullness in the gym, sex drive, absolutely everything. You're on the upward spiral. But obviously it's about taking these things and understanding, isn't it? So that's the benefits. Do I use it? Am I against it? Everyone knows I was a competitor, use anabolic peak cycles. Stopped competing, used TRT for 18 months. The last few months, no TRT, fully natural, restoring natural tests, pushing fertility to the most optimal range because my goals have changed. So my goal here is to now educate you with my experiences. Hope that helped.